Hi, everybody. Jean Humbrecht with Humbrecht Law, criminal and traffic defense attorney in Manassas, Virginia. Welcome to my latest local business spotlight. I have a very special guest today, Eileen Carlucci of Redesign Your Life Coaching. Eileen is the author of the upcoming book, Your New Life Starts Now, 7 Steps to Reinvent Yourself and Live Your Most Fabulous Life over 40 and Beyond. She is a speaker, stylist, and lifestyle design coach for women in midlife. Now, Eileen, there is a lot to talk about there, but I'm going to turn it over to you to ask you to, hi, Janine. I'm going to ask you to tell us a little bit more just about your business in general and what a coach does, or in particular, what you do. I'm going to be sharing this on my different pages, as everybody knows that I do. And I also invite everybody who's watching to type any questions you have into the comments, and we can ask Eileen while we have her today, and let us know where you're checking in from. I see Deneen Rogowski already said hello. Eileen, do you know Deneen?
I do not, but hi, Deneen.
Oh, and hi, everyone. We all network, so I just figured.
Yes,
maybe I'm going to turn it over to you.
If I saw her in person, sometimes the name and the.
Oh, yeah.
Thank you for joining in, everyone. And Jean, thank you so much for having me. I really am honored to be here and be your spotlight speaker today. So thank you. So yeah, I'm just going to share a little bit about me. How I really got to be this Redesign Your Life coach was I had a midlife transformation. I was going through a lot of life transitions, the end of a marriage. My dad passed away. I lost my dog. The kids were going to college. I was going back into the workforce. I was feeling very disempowered because I had been out of the workforce so long. And I'm like, what am I going to do? I just felt like I had totally lost my identity. And I was just crying a lot. I was like frozen. So one night I decided to sign up for these personal growth and development classes. And I never looked back. I was constantly in a state of training and coaching. And it gave me a lot of confidence because I didn't used to have confidence in myself. And so I did find a job. And on the side, I started hosting these empowering events for women, which led to, women coming up and like, wow, like I feel like I'm in that where I'm, because sometimes, in midlife, we're kind of nestled between our parents aging or passing away. The kids are going to college. We're looking at like, what do we want to do? Is it too late to start a new job? Is it, can we start the business? Is that a wise financial decision right now? So I was hearing a lot of that. And I thought, you know what? I really want to be a coach. And I started coaching people on the side. In 2018, I went full in. And I hired a business coach. I laid down the groundwork and I started coaching clients. And it's been the most amazing. I can't even tell you what a privilege it is to really get someone from here to there. And not only do I have the coaching, because we do the mindset reset, but we really get into the lifestyle. Like, what do you really want your life to look like? What kind of career do you want to have? What kind of like envision your whole life. You come out, get up in the morning, you put on a beautiful silk robe and make yourself cappuccino and create beauty in your day. And then I also incorporated a wardrobe service, which is called the Wardrobe Reset and Refresh, where we actually take the clothes that are sitting in your very own closet and mix, match, and repurpose. And you find a lot of hidden gems too, like the jewelry and the shoes and the handbags and the hats. There's so much when you start really playing around. So we create a whole bunch of looks that sometimes women aren't even aware of. Like, I never knew I had all of this. This is incredible. So that's what I really do in a nutshell. And the book is very much about all of that. It's like all the areas of your life, how to be powerful in every area and really live your life how you want to live it, right? Not, because sometimes we're like, let's wait until this, things are happening in life all the time. And sometimes we wait and it's like, really take action now. It's that kind of book, and be excited about it. So that's my business in a nutshell.
That's there's a lot to unpack there. The first thing that I wanted to ask you about is, I forget the exact phrase you used, but you talked about resetting your mind frame or mind frame reset, something like that.
Yes.
Yes. I'm gonna ask you to explain that. But before we do, I need to grab my laptop charger because it's about to die.
No worries.
Why don't you start talking about that? And I will be right back, everybody. Don't mind me.
I'll be happy to. So when I speak about mindset reset, so happened was when I first started going in, doing training and development courses and working with coaches, there were things that I was not even aware of, almost like just something I didn't even know that was there that a coach actually pulled out of me that I didn't even know. So a lot of times what happens is as we're growing up, right? We have things happen as we're growing up, right? And we have family stories and, even about money, everything. And we take on all of this data, right? Society and religion and, all the generational stuff and even like about our own selves, right? Because something happens, like say your mom says to your brother, "Oh, that's my smart kid," right? So we internalize that. What does, that mean about us, right? So I had that experience as a child with math. I didn't get it. The teacher called on me in front of everyone. I felt so humiliated. She was laughing at me, not laugh. The kids were laughing and she was yelling, right?
Yeah.
So my whole life I had this like I didn't feel like I was smart, right? And it's just a story I made up, right? So that's you get to the root of all those things you made up about yourself a gazillion years ago that you really think are true. I do a lot about money. Like we have a lot of blocks. Like we're all, a lot of times we're in scarcity or feast and famine. Like we get even no matter how much money people have, everyone gets an inherited money story. So that's what I mean about the blocks. There's a lot of things blocking us from getting out of our own way. We want to stay comfortable in our little comfort zone, right? So sometimes it just takes a little bit of rewiring. No one's broken, right? It's just a little bit of really just changing how you see things, right? And then taking whatever those experiences are and like taking them to the next chapter with you. Like all those experiences, you can help other people with that, right? So we all have our gifts and our life experiences, and people need them more than ever now, today, more than ever, right? Especially now. So that's what we do. Just a little rewiring and kind of see that experience as a good thing, no matter how bad it was, because it can help other people and just to change the dialogue a little, a way we think about things.
So, I mean, that actually brings up an interesting point. A lot of people might not know, the difference between a coach and a counselor and a therapist. And there's so many different,
Mhm.
titles and ways that people can help other people.
Right.
So, can you explain? 'Cause I've had this
Sure.
conversation with other people, but just
Sure.
for everybody,
I'm
can you
happy to.
explain how a coach? Because what you said sounds a lot like what I think sometimes people do in counseling or therapy. So, can
Right,
you
right.
explain how it's different? Obviously, you're not a
Sure.
counselor, but can you
Yeah,
explain
yeah.
like what a
And
counselor
I've
does
been to
versus?
counseling. I've been to counseling. I think it's amazing. I think whatever works for you. But what I loved about coaching when I was when I was doing all the just for myself, when I had coaches, when I was getting all the rewiring, and then I do this with my clients, then we go on to, okay, well, now we're going to create that next chapter, right? This is where we lay out the groundwork. We're actually going to, like plan this out and you get to be your future cast self. Like say I'm an author, right? And in April 2022, I'm an author, right? But right now I can act like, and you're already, and congratulations on your book, by the way.
Thank you.
Amazing. I'm already started reading it. It's really
Oh,
great.
good.
Yes, beautifully written. So you already can be that future cast person. It's already, and then we kind of lay down the foundation, how you're going to get everything done. Everything, there's a plan of action for everything you want to do. And I do it in a very uncomplicated way. I bring in the fun lifestyle, like really let's do an amazing mission statement. Okay. And let's talk about it. Because what I love to do is with the lifestyle section, we talk about surroundings and putting your beautiful flowers and using your china and getting out your jewelry and just like really being a goddess in your life, being like the star of your own story. So it's a little different where, I do bring a little bit of the lifestyle glamorous in and it's fun. And if somebody doesn't want that, I can take that out. I do tweak packages. They're very focused on their career. We definitely lay out a game plan. So everything is like mapped out and like when it's going to be done. So when you finish coaching, either your plan's going to be in place or you're going to have it accomplished, right? Depends how long the goal is.
Hmm.
So it's just a good way. It holds you accountable, right? And you
Hmm.
like really keep your word to yourself because you're working with someone that's helping you, make it happen, right? So, and that's what I did when I work with coaches, and now I'm a coach and I do this with my clients. So that's the beauty of coaching. And there's coaches for every single thing. There are so many coaches out there. So it's incredible. You can get all the support you need in this day and age, right?
Yeah. Yeah, that is true.
Yeah.
What did you do before you started taking all those personal development classes to become a coach?
Okay. So I grew up in Jersey. If anybody's from Jersey, just
I
outside
had
of
no
New York
idea with
City.
your accent. I
Yeah, I
couldn't.
know, right? Just outside of New York City. And I was a dancer. I used to go in, my dad would drive me to dance class. And then I was in the New Jersey Ballet. And as I went to college, I was a dance major. And as soon as I came back home after college, I started auditioning and I got a cruise ship right off the bat. I did the theme parks. I was in this world famous Siegfried and Roy show. I was in Atlantic City. So I had a decade long dancing career. Unfortunately, you do it when you're young, right? So once I moved to Virginia, right, with my former husband, we moved here and I had my children. I became a stay-at-home mom. So really like my 30s and 40s, I was doing little things like, part-time temping and substitute teacher. And I had a couple little, those little home businesses. I was doing some of that. So when my marriage ended, I was like, okay, now I got to figure out a whole new career. That's when I did the personal development because I'm like, I was really into finding a new career. And what was I passionate? I just didn't want to go get a job. I really wanted to have like something. And I always loved the mindset. My mother used to have all these psychology books. She used to go see Tony Robbins and everything way back in the day. And I was always really interested in it. Like I was always interested in the mind. So it was just kind of natural for me to go into it. And I haven't stopped training. I'm always doing courses and programs, like something I can't get enough of. So I absolutely love it.
So tell us what it is like when somebody first starts working with a coach, kind of just briefly from start to finish. What is the experience like?
Right. So it depends. Like some people will just come in and say, you know what, I just really want to find my passion. We may do like a 90-minute intensive where we cleanse for about 30 minutes. Like, let's just cleanse some of those old beliefs, like kind of get them present in here, right? You get your clarity. What are your core values? And your core values are the things, not that other people value and like that person has good values. It's like what you value more than anything. Like I value self-development. I just do. And I like always do. People in the self-development arena are always doing courses, right? And then we do the create part where like, okay, like this is what you want to do. This is how we can get you there, right? Then some people I really feel can just really benefit from 3 months or they're right on the edge of, I think I want to do this. I'm just a little scared. So it's just kind of like getting out of your own way. And again, changing the verbiage up there because we are constantly blocking ourselves. We're constantly talking to ourselves and sometimes taking ourselves out of the game, right? So it's a lot of confidence building, right? We get into the money mindset, which is so helpful to do because anything, whether you're going to start a business, you have to have a good money mindset. If what's your value with a job or getting a raise? I mean, it's really important. So definitely do that. And then of course the lifestyle, we're going to make it fun. Like, let's talk about your lifestyle. Like talk about, can you just see yourself, in like on a beautiful, what is it, Calabria, Italy or whatever, sitting with cobblestone streets and drinking your cappuccino, like kind of really get them into their dream life. How do you really want to live? And you can have it. All it takes is some planning and believing in yourself. And you could have a luxe life every day, honestly, because that's just being good to yourself. And, we do a little bit of self-care. Sometimes I have clients like, let's go into your pantry and your prescriptions and your makeup and let's like little homework assignments just to cleanse, right? Do a sage cleanse. So there's like a process that I go through and people are just kind of wowed. Like, there's just so much available. And sometimes we just block ourselves with, all that's available. And we all do it. But we can get ourselves unblocked pretty quickly, right? So.
So who do you typically work with? Like describe your typical clients.
So most people are, again, midlife women, usually 40s and 50s, just came out of a marriage that ended. They empty nester. Like, what do I do now? My kids are gone. They were my whole life. Again, a woman that wants a career switch, but like, I don't know, is it too late to do this now? Can I start a business? Because believe me, I started business in my 50s and I'm like, I had those little bit of blocks. Like maybe I can't do this, but I don't know if I just want to go get a job. Like, I don't know if that's going to fulfill me because that's, after I had that transformation and I went through every area of my life. I went through my closet because I'm like, all right, I'm going to start dressing for my dreams. I was a busy stay-at-home mom in the minivan. Now I got to, I'm going into the workforce. I got to get my clothes together and I'm networking. And, I went through my house. I started just repurposing everything that I do, like with the closet, like just making it beautiful and enjoying my new home and social life. I did it with every area. So I was like, I want to do this for women now, like just a whole midlife, transformation, right?
So if somebody, I imagine that there are probably people who are struggling and, need your services or similar services, but may not even recognize it because they just have so much going on.
Right.
So, what would you suggest? What do you suggest should be the first, area of their life that they tackle, and so that this is not also overwhelming?
So first we just kind of do, and it honestly, if I do the whole like 6 month program, that is more, like I said, some people just need I'll do a 90-minute intensive or 3 months. I am going to probably create a group coaching, which is fun because you have other women going through similar things. But no, I just feel like the calendar management, and then again, giving your word, like if you're really ready to take your life to the next level, if you want to, do things, something you've never done, what is it that saying? You got to, do things. What is it? Something you've never done. You got to do things you've never done. Right. So we can keep going in that same hamster wheel and say, oh, I'm just too busy for my life. Or we could say, you know what? I'm taking charge. I'm ready to up level, take it to the next level. And it's not going to be comfortable, maybe, right? Maybe a little extra work, but I'm committed. Like if you have that desire to do it, you'll do it, right? And I'm there to help you. Like I am there to help you. And I have a lot of other resources if they need another coach for something or whatever. I do that with my clients all the time and they're like, oh my God, books, whatever I can do to help, right? And we make it, my coaching sessions are usually once a week. So it's not, and then you'll get homework every week and it's fun. I mean, designing your life is fun. It shouldn't be a chore. I try to make it uncomplicated. I make, everything just, I just want to make sure people also enjoy like, taking their mindful walks and journaling and, little fun things, like just be good to yourself. Like, be the love of your own life for a little bit, right? Sometimes women, we do things for everyone else and we forget about ourselves. So you have to make time for you, right? So this is it. It's not a dress rehearsal. So
yeah. And I think a lot of us are guilty of that, not taking time for ourselves, especially, well, you own a business, I own a business.
Yes.
And even, women that don't own business, our lives are just so busy right now. And it's so easy to say, I don't have time for this or that, even if it doesn't take a lot of time. I'm sure you know exactly what I'm talking about.
Exactly. Yeah. And then sometimes I'm like, all right, well, maybe I'll make time and do I really need to watch TV or this or that? And yeah, it's fun, but like, I could use this. I could listen to a podcast or I could, you know what I mean? Like do something more positive and that's going to, move me forward. Right. So, but I know, and then sometimes you have to get a little bit of teamwork. Like you may need help. Like if you have kids, all right, well, this is what we're going to do. Monday, you'll do that, like have a family meeting or, if you're a single mom, like do you have grandparents to help or, a single woman, like we all need help. Like you hire cleaning people or a handy person, or sometimes you just have to get your help. We can't do it all alone. So,
and sometimes you just need to spend money on things, even if you think, well, I don't want to spend money on that. I can do it myself. Like cooking your dinner or cleaning your house. I mean, yeah, you can order out food if you are busy and take a break for yourself, or you can have a cleaning service and pay, yes, for something you can do yourself, but you need the time. Time is more important than money.
Sometimes. Exactly. You could trade your time for money or vice versa, right? I mean, So it's true. You can't get your time back, but you can always make more money, right?
That is true.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Even though you
Yeah.
don't feel like it at the time when someone
Oh,
tells
I
you that.
know. Sometimes you're like, especially when money gets tight, but you got to remember too. And there's an amazing book called Creating Money. And this one chapter just blew me away because the author was saying, you're never ever going to have the same amount of money in your bank account. Money is constantly flowing around the world. It goes from your bank account to another person's to another, right? We're always buying and then, so this it's really all of our money. Money's really just an illusion. And she was talking about like you're going to have ebbs and flows. You're going to have times in your life where you lose the job, you get in debt, like things won't be good. That's the nature of life, the yin and the yang. And then you're going to have times when, you have this great job or a big, I don't know, you win the lottery or whatever,
Mhm.
and that's how it's going to be most of the time. But if you can appreciate both of those things and not fall like, oh, I have all this, I can't do anything. Sometimes we get in that scarcity mindset.
Mhm.
And she said it's like the tide, it goes in and then it comes this big wave of abundance. So I have waves all over my house because 2022 is a very abundant year for me. I've already declared it. So I have a vision board that I put right in my desk in front of me. And then I put one up in my bedroom, like this beautiful wave of abundance coming in. So visualizing that. And I do feel a shift from 2021. I do feel a shift. It's amazing. So remember that wave of abundance coming, guys.
I I want a wave of abundance too.
It's
Um,
on the way, Jean.
do those vision boards actually? So I've never done one. Do they
Mhm.
actually just is the purpose to just help keep your focus on what it is that you want in your life?
Exactly. So, like right now, I have this picture of the Dana Point. I actually did a post yesterday, the Dana Point Harbor. And when I went a few years ago, it was on my bucket list, and I'm making it happen again in 2022. But I also have done my metrics and my milestones this year, like how I'm going to make the book happen by April, how I'm like, you got to kind of, again, plan it out. You got to put it
Mhm.
on your calendar and like hold yourself to it, right? Kind of give your word to it. Like, all right, it's done. It's out in the universe. It's happening, right? So you have to do the actions, obviously, but it just kind of grounds me just looking at that vision board.
Mhm.
I love them. I feel like every year I would say 2020 was a little off when I did it early 2020. But a lot of it, I started writing my book that year. There was a lot of, because I kept looking at that vision board, even that was a horrible year for all of us. But
Mhm.
it does work. But as long as you get your timeline of when it's all going to happen as well, then yeah, I think they're great.
Well, what about the mindset, which I'm sure is negative for everybody when
Mhm.
you don't meet those deadlines and timelines because things happen. If you're writing a book but you have another job, your
Right.
job comes first or just things happen in life and like things won't go according to your timeline. How do you avoid being negative and just keep staying on track because, I'm sure it's disconcerting.
Right. Well, you kind of have to like do some critical thinking. Okay, well, what didn't work and what worked, right? So it didn't work that I had no one helping me. I was doing all the housework when I came home. The kids weren't helping. Like, you know what I mean?
Mhm.
So
Mhm.
that we know that doesn't work. So you kind of have to okay, so like, and you can recommit, right? You don't have to beat yourself up like, you know what? I didn't do what I said I was going to do or whatever, if you have, and now I'm going to like, either you're going to create a new mission statement or another outcome. I'm going to, kind of redo my numbers here. And now it's going to be done, say by May, right?
Mhm.
And it happens. Like life isn't easy. We have a lot of stuff happening all the time and unexpected things,
Mhm.
but we can't beat ourselves up. You try, sometimes it doesn't work. And you just have to really do that critical thinking. Like what worked, what didn't work, what can I put into place? Who can I get to help me?
Mhm.
Maybe if you're like me, I used to call myself a solopreneur, but I did get some help. I can't do this all on my own, right? It's, an online business is a lot. And you too, I'm sure you have, you have a staff and everything, but you have to get the help you need because we just can't do it all ourselves. So,
Yeah, and it's sometimes hard to ask for help, not necessarily with work, because that's easy to explain. You need this, I need this done, and I can't do it, whatever it is, phone it's being answered, social media, whatever. But I think
yeah.
more in personal life, we have trouble asking for help.
Right, right. And then we're afraid sometimes, like, I'm sure even what you do, you have a big job, like people's lives are at stake. So it's like, I'm sure you get like, you know what I mean? Like, I can't worry about anything else but this. But, that's
Mhm.
again, look at where can you get your help? You know your schedule. All right, well, I'm going to have to block out this week. I'm just not able to. You know what I mean? So just honor your time too in your calendar, right? So,
Mhm.
take your breaks because sometimes we just need a break. Go get a massage or a facial or just go take a mind for a walk or say, I'm gonna have tea time every day at 3 o'clock. I don't care what's happening. For
Yeah.
30 minutes, I'm setting the alarm. I'm gonna take my pretty china out and that's it. And just listen to music and relax or take the dog for a walk or whatever. Just give yourself a little time because you keep going, it just leads to burnout. You got to have those little breaks,
I
right?
know. And the problem is, I think you don't realize that the burnout is coming until it's too late.
Oh, yeah, sometimes then it's like total meltdown, right? Yeah, yeah.
Deneen made a couple comments. She said she needs a wave of abundance too. And
Janine, I'm sending it to you.
let's
It's
get the
on
wave
its
over
way.
here. I need
It's
the
on
abundance,
its way.
seriously.
Remember, ebb
She,
and flow, right? It goes in with the tide.
mhm.
The big wave, it's coming. If it's not now, it's coming, right? And we have to remember there's abundance everywhere. If we wrote down everything we're grateful for, like right now, look how much we have, right?
Yeah.
I mean, just sometimes we forget, like we wake up and we take a shower, we have water, we have food on the table, we have, a nice home, we have a car, all those things. And then our family, like if you have kids or husband or, your parents, like whatever, like just to have family, friends, like we have so much that we forget. Sometimes I think we just think of money and it's like there's so much out there it's a world full of so much, like all of the world is truly our oyster. And there's so many people, and just even sometimes just calling a person you haven't talked to in a long time or making a new friend, like that is just golden, right? Because so much can come out of one conversation, just picking up the phone. And it's a world of abundance. Sometimes we don't always see it.
That is true.
Yeah.
Deneen also said, I just did a vision board and really like it. I have it posted around the house and on my phone.
All
Deneen,
right.
I
I
would
love
love
it,
to look at this
Janine.
vision board.
Oh, I love it. Yo, it's so much fun, isn't it, Janine? You'll have to do one, Jeans. Take some time one weekend, get
I
some
know I need to
post.
take time to do a lot of things.
Yeah, I have a little video. I'll send it to It's a YouTube on how to make one and the supplies. I don't know if you ever made one, but if you want me to send it to you, I
No,
will.
I never made one.
Yeah.
Bridget Newman, you met Bridget at my book launch.
Yes. Hi, Bridget.
I don't know if she's on. She usually pops
Okay.
on, but
Okay.
she's going to be hosting a vision board party soon.
Oh, you should go to that.
Well,
Definitely.
it was the one that was scheduled before I had court, so I couldn't like
Okay.
priorities,
Got it.
obviously.
Got
So,
it. Yeah.
but yeah, if I could. Oh, she said she made it on Canva.
Oh, those are nice. I've done the mood boards and I've done like those are beautiful. I love to do the pictures. It's fun because then it gets you look and you're like, wow, look at this amazing life that I'm walking into, right? With all the beautiful photos and it
Oh,
tells you a lot about yourself when you do them on Canva, like the pictures and the colors you pick. It's very interesting. That's how when I first started my business, the lady who was doing my logo, she goes, make a vision board and pick, and she goes, and I'll create something from your vision board. And I had all pinks and golds and cream and she made this beautiful logo. I'm like, yep, that's exactly.
oh, yeah, because I
Yeah.
really like your logo.
Thank you. Thank you. Appreciate that. But yeah, I mean, you're right. There's so much beauty in life. We have to enjoy the ride. Can't just be all serious and it's just and anytime we're ready to elevate and take it up a few notches, we can, right? And we can do it in an uncomplicated way. We just have to put a little bit of time into it every week. So
Hmm. And I think what you mentioned earlier about a coach, the accountability, having somebody help you stay
mhm.
on track, I think that's probably, well, definitely what most people need, because
Exactly.
we all probably know the things that we need to do and the things that we want to do, and the career goals that we want to hit. But when you're caught in the constant grind of every day, and I got to do this for tomorrow and this for next week, having somebody say, well, what did you do to get ready for that book that you want to write, or something like
Right.
that. It's
Yeah.
just it would definitely be a help.
I mean, you did it right with your book. Like Actually,
I didn't stick to my plan at all, but
well,
it
I mean,
eventually got
honestly,
written.
9 months, that was really impressive. I'm like, "Ooh, you go, Jean," because honestly, it's taken me 2 years. I did redo the whole long story, but, I redid most of the book, so that's why it's taken me a little long, but 9 months, that is really fantastic, and I really wanna acknowledge you
Oh,
because and so many people are gonna benefit from this book that are in this situation, or maybe do or give someone light, like, "Don't mess around with this because this is what can happen," right?
I think I have a copy
Yeah.
right here. Hold on 1 second. I should have got, here we go.
Yeah, show everybody your book. Author, congratulations. Woo-hoo, more than a
More than a
fine.
fine, the true cost of speeding in Virginia. I had a book signing party last Friday at my mom in Manassas, and Eileen and several of my other friends came. Eileen actually brought me this beautiful gold frame to put a picture of me signing my book in. That was very nice of you. Thank you.
Aw, yeah. Well, I hope you put a photo in with holding your book because those were great pictures
Oh,
too.
that's the one
Beautiful.
I need to get those developed. I haven't developed a
Yeah.
picture in a long time, but that's going in the frame.
No, it's such an accomplishment. And I will tell you, like, my publisher always says, when you write a book, you become an authority. Like you are it. You're the person. And if there's two attorneys, right? One that didn't write the book, like they're doing the same thing you did, and one that did, they're going to go to you first because you're the expert, right? And I know it's weird, like people think just because I wrote a book, but it is. There's something about you really up level your business, everything, and it does take something to write a book. So
It's not easy, guys.
not easy. Oh my gosh, it is not. But no, it's really, I'm very impressed, and I think that's awesome because I know you're so busy with your career to make that time. So you did it. You made the time and you did it. Going after your dreams, right?
Yeah, but you know what? At the time, it seemed so hard, and I will tell you, I had a schedule and plans for when things were going to get done, and they didn't get done according to my
Mhm.
plans. And
Yeah.
it was that's where I talked about that negative mindset. I was upset. I'm like, this is never going to get done. What am I going to do? And my book actually changed a lot from when I first started writing it too.
Mhm.
And I was like, well, this is just the way that it's going to go. And I went with the flow. But then I actually had book signings scheduled in early 2020, and then COVID hit.
Wow.
So that actually got pushed
Wow. Oh,
for
so you had books. Oh, wow. I didn't realize that. Wow. Wow.
yeah. So my book was published in August of 2020,
Okay. Got it.
but I couldn't really do anything, to celebrate it in person until
Okay.
last summer.
Yes. Yes. That's so awesome that you did it. And it's nice you can be out and do it. Um,
Yeah.
yeah.
Janine said, "Oh, but you did it. So be proud of the accomplishment." I
Yeah,
know. Thank you,
exactly.
Elizabeth.
See, stop that. You got to self this.
And
Um,
I am so happy with the way the
yeah,
cover turned out.
I love
And
it.
like you can see the title on the spine because it was important for me to have that on, on a bookshelf. And I
Yeah.
learned so much. Like your book has to be a certain number of pages in order to even have a spine because it has to be big enough for it.
Oh,
So
wow.
so
Okay.
I added some stuff to the, and my problem is also I'm not very concise. I just keep talking and talking or writing and writing. And I did not think this book was going to be as long as it is. It's not a long book, guys, but it
Yeah.
was longer
I
than I
was gonna
thought it
pick
was.
mine up too, but it's up in my room because I was reading it last night. So, but I was gonna, yeah. No, but I love how it looks. I mean, it kind of gets you like, okay, don't mess around with this. And if you do, I'm here to help, right?
And there's a picture
Yeah.
of me on the back.
I love that picture.
I
Yes.
know that's my favorite one. I do. Yeah, it's nice.
So
Um,
awesome.
but for anybody who's watching that
Congratulations.
doesn't know about my book, it is about all the consequences of speeding ticket convictions in Virginia. And a lot of the points in the book, can apply throughout the country, but it's specific to Virginia law. But Janine says I'll need to get a copy. Janine, it's available on Amazon. I can put the link in the chat, and I'll let you know about the next book signing. But I mean, speeding tickets can affect so many areas of your life that people don't think about. Like for example, having a bad driving record can and will impact your ability to get life insurance. You might not be able to get life insurance at all, or you might not get good rates or good coverage because if you don't have a good driving record, they look at you as a risk on the road and a risk to insure because a risk you'll get in an accident and they'll have to pay out. And then also security clearances. People don't think they think, oh, it's just a traffic ticket. No, if you have a bad driving record, and you have a security clearance, that's not good. So, and there's
Yeah. Oh,
so
I
many
can
other,
imagine.
and then
Yeah.
the
There's so
obvious,
many. Yeah.
the fines, the court costs, the points, all that stuff.
Right. Right. Wow. I can just imagine. Wow.
Yeah.
Well, it's a huge accomplishment. It's a huge contribution to people to learn all this. So they, just be careful when you're out there speeding, right?
Yeah.
Know in advance. Yeah. That's
Yeah.
so great. And they could come to you if they're, have that situation, and you're an amazing attorney that can help them.
Oh, well, thank you. And I really do appreciate all of your support, because you know what? People don't say that to other people as much, in this world. I don't know if you all agree who are watching, and Eileen, but people, you just don't receive compliments like that.
Yep. Well, when I did my training, one thing I learned how important acknowledgement is, and I always make sure I acknowledge people. Like, that was something that really stuck with me. I always love to compliment, but really acknowledge them, like, for what they're up to in the world, right? And, like, the greatness of each one of us. Like, I see your greatness. Like, it shines bright.
Aw.
And I know we don't say it. I don't know why we don't, but
Yeah.
yeah, it's something that we, should do, because it really makes a difference for people, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, it really does.
And yeah, that's you brought up a good point. Acknowledge, as opposed to compliment, really. Yeah.
Yeah. Like, can I acknowledge you? Like, I just want to say, and just to really acknowledge, and what a difference something made for you, or something someone did for you, or,
Hmm.
wow, you wrote this book. Wow. Like, you're incredible. I acknowledge you for taking the time and the commitment that it took to get that done, and for helping other people, right? So
Yeah.
different than just, "Oh, great. That's
Yeah.
congratulate," you know what I mean? It's just a little different, the acknowledgement, right? So,
Yeah. Yeah. And I will tell you, it was really sweet when Eileen had all those kind words for me at the book signing, because she's right. People say, "Oh, congratulations," and oh, blah blah blah. But like,
yeah.
you could tell that she actually meant it.
I
I know
did. I was
that sounds
just got the
terrible, but
invitation. I
you
was
know what
like,
I
"I can't
mean.
wait to go. Woo woo,
Yeah.
when you have your party, I can't wait." And
Yeah.
I know, like, how hard it is to write a book. That's why I'm like, I am so impressed, because mine's not done. Believe me, I have beated myself up a few times, but again, I got regrounded. I said, okay, what's the outcome you want here, and what's not working, what's working. So that's what I did. So
Right. And there's no point in trying to rush something through if it's not the end product that you
exactly.
want. If you decide you want to write something different, or you want this to go a different way, then you just got to
Mhm.
go with the flow.
Right. Exactly. Exactly.
I want to hear a little bit more about your book, though. Does your book just talk about everything that you do with your coaching business?
No, it's actually more for the reader, honestly. I share a little bit about my story, like from Hollywood to housewife to just redesign your life coach. But that's only one chapter. It's really the reader, like, I kind of base it off of the 7 essential areas of life. You all heard that? There's 7 areas of life. It's like the physical. You haven't heard that?
No, I'm
So it's like,
sorry.
all the main areas, your spirituality and your career, your financial, your family. Except I did add, of course, I'm going to add, kind of zhuzhed it up with the wardrobe, and I have a whole lifestyle section. So it's, each chapter is it like finances, your career. So really it's all the areas of your life, and some really great. And then I did 6 bullets as one, what is it, Word document. Of course, I went over every time because I'm a writer. Um, so it's probably going to be longer than it was intended to be, but we'll see when they're done with editing and formatting. But really, it's just like, being that star of your story, writing that chapter. How do you want every area of your life to look? And just getting really excited and pumped up, like, not like, oh, this is a lot, like, just like getting out of your own way, and pushing yourself aside, and like not being afraid, right? Because there's a lot of fear sometimes of putting ourselves out there. Little things like, what to do with the naysayer. Sometimes when you start really elevating your life, people get a little uncomfortable, right?
Hmm.
Then from that to, like, how to take all the things in your home and repurpose them. So there's all kinds of fun nuggets in there, right? Like, so when I first got, unmarried, I took all my stuff, I put it on the dining room table, And I was like, okay, how can I repurpose this and put it in rooms? And I spray painted frames and kind of just made it look differently, right? Because it's a new, I did paint and everything, but kind of how to zhuzh up your house and your closet and your social life and, how to go out alone, what to wear if you're dating again, if you haven't been dating in a million years, right? With the colors, right? So it's just a lot of fun stuff.
So, what is a tip to deal with the naysayers when you are advancing? And I guess you're referring to people being jealous. Is that what you're referring
Yeah,
to?
because sometimes, like, I've even had it with my coaching business. Like, a coach, what are you gonna, you know what I mean? Like, people just sometimes I don't understand, or they see you and they just, sometimes there's maybe some jealousy. Because sometimes when you start to transform, you're doing a lot of work on yourself. You become a different person. People are used to you a certain way, so they kind of have a reaction to it. Like, well, you're not the friend that I want you to be. Like, you know what I mean? So, like, honestly, there's a few ways. Either you can kind of just, give them some love, like, kind of, okay, I got how you feel, whatever. And that's it. Because most of the time it's their own insecurity, right? Like, when people doubt you can do something, it's their own doubt, or they want to bring you down. That's their view of how they see the world, not your view. So you just have to, like, detach yourself, because they had kind of created a whole story about that situation. Like, I don't have to be in that story with them. I can just remove myself. Because most of the time we want to what? What do we do? When we get upset, when people, we get offended or whatever. We don't have to do any of that. Like, okay, like, that's really their view. So they're just telling you their view, and then we take offense to it. So it's like, just give them some love. Like, that's how they feel. Okay, great. And honestly, I'm a believer of make new friends, keep the old ones silver and the ones gold. What is that? The Girl Scout? I really am. But sometimes you have to really evaluate your friendships when when you've taken your life up a few notches, and, like, start hanging out with people to where you want to be, right? Those people that have already gotten there. Like, if you're going to run a race, you want to start hanging out with people that have finished the marathon and done it 10 times over. And, like, you learn and you're running with them, and you're in that, and you don't want to, maybe you don't want to hang out with your old friend where you should just sit and drink wine. You know what I mean? I don't know. Right now, maybe you need to focus on that and kind of hang out with those people you can learn. But again, I'm not saying, like, dump your friends in any way. I'm just saying sometimes you have to evaluate. And
Hmm.
even, like, life, it's like there's a poem called The Train of Life, how people come on and off your train. Sometimes they're
Hmm.
riding in the car with you. Sometimes they're a few cars back. Sometimes they get off permanently. You don't even notice, right? Sometimes that's how friendships are. Like, maybe your kids are growing up, and then you kind of, you know, after your kids, you don't have that commonality, maybe, right? So you just kind of have to evaluate, like, do I want to continue this friendship, or maybe we'll put it on hold for a little bit. Maybe we'll circle back around later, but just kind of evaluate it.
Hmm.
So
Yeah,
I have a
that's
lot
great.
of those kind of tips in there. So
I'm looking forward to buying this book and reading it because I want to see these tips.
thank you. Yes. So I'm going to have a few launches. My publisher is going to have a launch, and then I'll have a few, you know, up in person. I'll do thank you. I appreciate that. I'm going to do an online. So, but I'm excited. I'm just going to be so relieved when it's done.
Yeah, I know. I
Yeah.
know how it feels.
Yes. Yeah. So I'm envious that you're complete, but I'm so happy for you. So,
Oh, well, thank you. It still feels so new just because it happened. I released it at such an odd time,
I can
there was no
imagine.
ability to celebrate it. So it still feels new to me, even though it was a year and a half ago that it came
Yeah.
out for purchase. But
Yeah. Well, when I start my story, and I don't know, they may change it with editing and formatting or give me suggestions. I started April 2020, and
oh,
it's like pandemic times. That's the chapter. Um,
oh, I'm
so
sorry.
anyway,
Somebody's calling
that's
me on
okay.
here.
But that's anyway. So that's how I kind of start my story, like, that I'm writing this book and why. So yeah. And really, like, who doesn't want to redesign their life right now? We've had the great resignation in 2021. People are leaving their jobs, and really, like, that they've been home. Like, I don't want to go back to a cubicle. I don't really like my job. Like, you start really think you have more time. We've had more time, right? Being at home, not having to travel to offices. So
Hmm.
that's really why, really another reason I wanted to write the book. Just, like we're all kind of redesigning our life right now, right? Reinventing ourselves.
But did you have the idea before the pandemic?
I was going to do, when you get unmarried, I was going to do a book like that about getting unmarried and how to thrive after, that. But I decided I wanted to do it for all midlife women, no matter where they were in their life.
Mm-hmm.
So, no, just like for everyone, honestly, any midlife woman. So that's really where my passion lies, with women in midlife and that transition, right? They're going through a lot of things and there's a lot of transitions. So like just how to be powerful and live like a really fabulous life, like live your best life now, right?
Yeah. Well, that sounds like a great way to end. We've been on for, wow, 45 minutes. But there was so much to talk about, and I'm really looking forward to this book. I mean, I was going to buy it anyway, but I'm really looking forward to it because I want to read about these tips. Is there anything else that we didn't talk about, or that you want to leave everybody with before we go?
I'm trying to think. Well, I just want to say, like, with this, what all these times that have happened, right? It's another way, like I was bringing up the money mindset. Like, if you can look at, this time as an ebb, right? With this time we've had during these pandemic times, it's been scary and like it's been overwhelming, like for all of us, right? And everyone, I heard what a therapist on a show say, we've all had some PTSD after this experience, right? So if you can just accept, again, it's like accepting the duality of life. That's how I look at it, and it helps me. Like it's a part of life. Bad things happen and amazing things happen, right? So no matter what, though, you can't, like, no matter what happens in the world, it's all how you react to it. So that always helps me. Like, and I can either get upset by all the, everything happening, or, so I just always get myself really busy. I work on projects. How can I contribute to people's lives? And that really helps me, right? So, working with clients and, just focusing on the things you can control, and enjoying each day, creating beauty in your day. And like, this is it. Every day is a gift. So I just wanted to close on that. Enjoy it. So
Well, that is a good way to end. Thank you, Eileen, so much for joining me today, and thank you, Deneen, for hanging on till the end. I think she's
yes,
still
Eileen,
there.
thank you.
And Deneen, by the way, I put a link to my my book on Amazon in the chat. So if you or anyone else watching wants to get it, or you can get it at the next book signing, or you can buy it on Amazon and bring it to the book signing, and I'll sign it. So Eileen, once I end the broadcast, you and I can still be here, so don't sign off yet.
Okay, sounds good.
Oh, she said thank you. Thank you,
Thank
Deneen,
you,
for buying.
Thank you, everyone. If you're watching,
yeah, thank you, everybody,
thank
for
you, Jean. Yeah.
Thank you, everybody, for tuning in. And our next business spotlight. Oh, next week, there's usually a break, but next week we have Lada and Madrasahi. Eileen, I think you met her too at my book launch. She's going to be talking about her business taboo talks, which I actually spoke on one time. So that's going to be next week, Wednesday at 4. So I hope to see all of you guys then. Bye.
Bye. Bye, everyone.